Wild Hearts, my name is Jasmine, and today I'm going to build a shelter in my backyard to sleep under it. There are just two things that you need in order to build a shelter in your backyard, so super simple. Hopefully you have these things in your garage. A tarp and some rope. Any kind of rope. This is P-cord or paracord. So if you have rope and a tarp, you are good to go. You need to know how to tie two types of knots in order to hang this tarp. The first is called a bowline, and the second is called a taut line. So let's get started with the bowline. Bowlines are going to be used as anchors. So we tie bowlines to objects that we don't want to move. So in this instance, we're going to be tying our bowline to the grommets in our tarp because we want that to stay still. So this is what it's going to look like. The way that we get there is we start with what's called the standing end of the rope. In knot tying, you've got the side that doesn't move. This is going to stay still. It's the standing end. And then we've got this side is the working end. And this is one that we're using to tie the knot. So we want our standing end to be on top of the first loop that we create. So our loop is facing our working end, and the end that's coming from around this post, which is going to be our grommet in our tarp, is on top. Then we take this end and we push it up through the hole. Then it goes behind our standing end, comes back over the top, and goes through the hole that it came from. And then you pull it tight. Pulling it tight is called dressing the knot, and it's an important thing to do. When a bowline is weighted, it won't move, but when it's not weighted, it's pretty easy to get untied. So one more time, we're creating a loop where our standing end from around our anchor is on top. Our working end is going up through the hole, behind the standing end, and back through the hole the way that it came, and then you can pull on all of the ends to tighten it. This is a knot that's really easy to tie wrong, but you'll know you tied it right when you've got this sort of circular semicircle. I like to think that it's like a life jacket for our standing end. The next knot we're going to learn is called a taut line. This is a knot that helps us create tension. So we're going to tie it to our anchors when we hang our tarp so that we can tighten them and cinch down on them. So we're going to take our working end and we're going to put it over the top of our standing end, and then we're just simply going to wrap our working end around our standing end 3, maybe 4, maybe 5 times. The more times you wrap, the more friction you create. So if you're tying something really heavy, you might want to do that. If you're tying something light, you can maybe stick with 3. Then you're going to take your working end and you're going to bring it down back over the top of this thread. It's going to go behind, and your working end is going to come back through that hole that you created. And then you're going to dress it, so you're just going to pull it. And then what happens is that this is able to slide, and it moves when it's not weighted, but once it's weighted, there's enough friction that you can't pull. So this is what we'll use to tighten our tarp. On every corner of the tarp, I'm tying a bowline because that's a stationary knot that won't move. Around the anchors, I'm tying taut lines so they can tighten them. Once I've got 2 anchors, I'm kind of fiddling, going back and forth, tightening each side, raising it until I've got it where I want it. The near side of the tarp is higher, and the back side is going to be lower, so that if it started to rain, the rain would kind of shed off the back. Once I have all 4 corners tied, I'm just tightening until I have it where I want it and so it has tension. So there you have it. Tarps and P-cord are always great things to bring with you whenever you're headed out into the backcountry, because if you have a tarp and P-cord and you can tie a bowline and a taut line, you can make yourself a shelter anywhere. So I hope you try it in your own backyard. Happy camping!